Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
And 3.
Number 2.
Always followed by 1. Hey, yes, that's right. That's right. Remain standing. Remain standing, everybody. In America, that's right. In America, look at us. Did you doubt it? Did you doubt it? We're back,
Please.
America. And hey, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. We wouldn't, well, we would miss it, but we don't have to miss it this
Well,
weekend.
we would. It would be rough to miss it.
If they were paying us to do this, we'd have some issues.
I'd have to take some PTO on that.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Oh, by the way, I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
And this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I got to figure out a way to, we talk to like management and stuff about trying to get people engaged at work and do their jobs. And it comes down to that. You got to want to do it. And you got to have something besides being paid, because that's a fact. They got stuff I get paid to do that, man, it's all I can do to make myself do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, they actually pay me to do this, and God, I don't feel like doing it. A couple of idiots like me and you just, we got to carve out time on the weekend to just go, talk some silliness. But
yeah, I got a side project that I got to do that's literally going to take me 15 minutes. You got to do it this weekend. I'm saying, all right, I do it today. Now I'll wait till tomorrow, maybe tomorrow evening.
You do that now. I don't have. We've done a lot of study around my house, and for various reasons, and including, my wife works with kids and various ages, so we do a lot of things on ADD, right? And over the years, like I said, you get on these links, once you do a little research on something, man, you get all these things, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Google. So you just got to go down the bunny hole, rabbit trail, whatever.
Rabbit hole.
Whether it's a trail or a hole, whatever. You go down that way with ADD and how it works and the various things. And I think all of us, to a little extent, probably have some. I think it's sort of it's not like I can give you a blood test and say, oh yeah, you got ADD. But one of the things is just really not being able to motivate yourself if you don't have that adrenaline, that whether it's dopamine or whatever the things they tell you need, and you need the deadline. You need, like, they literally, don't engage, and I don't have that, but I got a little bit of it. I just know, like, I don't feel like doing it now, but you know what? The deadline is tomorrow afternoon. I bet you tomorrow, late morning, I'll be motivated to do this. I mean, like, I can find my motivation when the deadline is like, hey.
Well, that's it. I'm terrible with self-imposed deadlines. Even I used to be a person who would respond, oh, I'll have that for you today. And that was just my instant response. And now it's, I'll get that to you, in the next few days. Just as vague as I can be.
Well, you wouldn't see, man. We try to coach for the other thing, right? I contact people back. Did this guy? Did I tell this story last week about the dude that I never heard from? I met him at some dinner thing, business. Okay, but then actually, I actually made it a. Sometimes things happen that either aggravate me or frustrate me or make me, things that make you go, but you can, I can write about it, or I can use it for a story. And so a while back at some business function, these folks I know had a dinner, and I meet this guy, and he's an executive, just become a new senior person at this bank up around Dallas, I think, who I never met before, and I never worked with that operation. So that's always good, right? You kind of sit next to somebody. Hey, it's good potential, right? Let's, man. Great long time. I think we met in Austin. It was great dinner, good conversation. Guys picking my brain like crazy. We're just, got me a new bud right here. That's exactly, and that's how this works. That's worth the trip. You go, you meet somebody, you kind of Yep. Right. Same page. Want to follow up, man. Oh yeah. We need to have, when I'm down there, we have to follow up. All right. So that's done. And, like a couple of weeks later, you kind of reach out, exchange business cards and stuff. Reach out. Hey, man, nice meeting you. I see, put them on newsletter lists and all kinds of things. And never hear from the guy. And I think we might even be friends on social media. One thing. I don't think the dude ever even liked anything I ever posted. I mean, just like literally the guy. And I think maybe 2 or 3 times over the past couple of years, you just randomly reach out with things and, hey, hope things, hope life's treating you and yours well and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be around.
Networking and follow up.
That's how you do, man. Right. And again, I preach this to other people. You just got to go out there and especially this stuff. It's not even like really sales pitch. It's just checking in. It's just, you
keeping yourself top of mind.
Okay, dude. I mean, I guess the kids call it ghosted. You just like, whatever. Don't even know. Then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks ago, I get like this DM on one of these social media, a business social media site that I will not plug right now. And I see this guy's name. I'm like, who is that? It rings a bell, and it dawned on me. And as I clicked on it, I said, I bet you this guy. Boom. Yep. Downsizing at their company. He's looking for a job, and it'd be great if I could share whatever his qualifications or his skill sets, whatever. And you're sitting there going, first of all, I don't wish anything bad on anybody. And part of me is like, I want to respond, dude, I don't know what your skill sets are.
Right.
Apparently responding to email ain't one of them. But I just sit there and like I said, man, good luck. I hope things turn out. But let me tell you something, the amount of personal energy that I feel that I need to do this. All right. So I actually wrote about that, and I got tons of response. People saying, yeah, because I talk about reciprocity and the importance of, regardless of whether or not you're doing business with somebody, regardless, just, try to be a decent dude, try to be a decent, person. So done. Right. And I'm thinking a little me was worried that the guy would read my So, but I made a point not
like
to
some
be
of the things I say here. I've got to evaluate who may or may not be watching.
Well, and I made it a point not to be specific, right? I made it a point to be very generic, but again, to make the point of, look, the time to plant seeds is now, not, I even use the old, I don't know if it's a Chinese saying or Japanese saying, or, whatever, but the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
The second best time to plant a tree is today. Right. And that's sort of my attitude. It's like, yeah, man, it's great to have a network of friends and people that you build over time, but that's fine. But you got to keep, you got to
have a forest, man.
So I'm worried. I'm a little worried that this guy's going to reach out. I didn't have to worry about that. I get a direct email from this cat like 2 days ago, because he was at the people that brought me to dinner that I met them. They were doing something and they recommended to him, hey, contact Dave. Because and I'm like, well, not only does this guy not read my stuff, my other friends apparently don't either. But that's good. That's all good. I did not respond yet, but again,
and see, I've had friends, or just not necessarily friends, but people that I know or have worked with or not worked with, just know through different channels, who will say, hey, I'm applying for such and such a job. I know you know somebody over there. Would you mind, reaching out? And if I say yes, what I will then do is I'll shoot a note to this person and say, hey, so-and-so asked me to reach out.
Yeah. I
have done my part, and I am leaving it at that.
Okay, so you got a little bit of prickish in you, man. Yeah. That's almost a negative endorsement right there, dude.
Don't ask me if I don't know anything about you, or
exactly. And I've not done it that way, but I've done it because, look, flip side, I've been on the other side too over the years, where like you reach out and you kind of hope somebody, you kind of hope somebody will
takes you up on it.
But here's what I know: I only ask people who I figure my wife has laughed about this for years when I tell her, my goal in life is I want people to owe me favors. Yeah. Okay. I do. Like I try. So part of it is trying to be a nice guy. The other part is, no, I want you to owe me something. And I got that Godfather mentality, right? The scene in The Godfather when he tells him, there may come a time when I need a favor. That dime may never come, but if it does, right?
But you still got the list.
I do, man. That's the same thing. And that's the other thing, management 101 out there or career 101. If you can ever help a decent person, because they got some people that are just choose and you just don't know, try to keep those people out of your circle. But for the most part, if you help somebody get a job, that person owes you forever. I don't care whether or not they're good at the job, whether or not they stay with that job.
Yeah, as long as they got a paycheck.
That's something else you're going to find out too over time. They got some people that just can't stay with a job. I mean, they're so be careful. But that's the other thing too. You got to be careful of who you put out there. Like who, hey man, I'm vouching for this guy.
That's the whole thing where, if it's somebody who I've got a good relationship with a company, I'm not recommending or connecting somebody who will then harm the relationship that I have.
Exactly.
Because, I put forth the effort to give you an opportunity and you then screw me.
There you go. Of course, I don't know. Maybe none of this stuff is even relevant anymore because apparently nobody either needs to or wants to work anyway. Flat out.
We went for the first time in years. I went to the mall the other night. Hopefully it'll be the last time in years.
Come on.
But so Christmas season, you figure, all right, I'm getting there, rolling in about 5:45. It's like, gosh, it's gonna be crowded. You pull right up to the door.
Really?
Mall closes at 7.
At 7.
And 7:00. And I asked one of the people working there, I said, why so early? What's going on? And said, no, I'm at work.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This a weekday or weekend?
That was during the week. On weekends they close at 8.
See, I thought you were going to tell me because of crime. Because
that's what I thought so too. That's why I asked.
Yeah, because believe me, y'all, depending on the city, but
no,
most cities.
Because the first thing I told Joey when we left said, Riley has never been one to hang out at the mall, but she's never hanging out at this mall. And that's the nice mall back there. And there are so many spaces that have no stores.
Yeah. Every place has. You ever notice that? Depending on the size of the city, there's always that's a nice mall.
Yeah.
That's the nice mall there because they always have. Well, that's the drive-by mall. That's the man. You don't want to be there after dark mall.
And then at one point, so we're leaving. Yeah, that's probably I just need a couple things. I'm quick. So then Joey says, you want to just grab something to eat in the food court? I said, no, indeed, man. That feels all nasty up in here. I got to go and take a bath.
Man, it's a shame too, because the mall used to be, at least here, and it's hanging in there with the one closest to my house here in Sugar Land is hanging in. It does okay. It still has a couple of flagship. They still got a Macy's and a Dillard's and whatever.
That's where I was. Unfortunately, at this mall, and probably like anyone's, the Macy's is on one side of the mall.
Of course.
The Dillard's is clear on the other side. So I had to go through the whole thing twice.
In retailing, we call that anchor stores.
Yeah.
it's the anchor stores, but
generates the traffic.
They're kind of hanging in there, and then they built up a bunch of restaurants and stuff around there. So it's close enough to, I think if this mall was just out on its own, like this is the right, I think it would really, really struggle. But it's close enough to, again, restaurants and things that, you kind of jump in. It's got an Apple store. But I tell you what, and no disrespect to Apple stores have gotten, Apple stores are almost sketch now, man. It's like if you point to me one place I don't want to go stay, it's because the people in there, it's almost nobody's in there to actually buy anything.
The one here, to buy stuff, you have to make an appointment. So, which is probably representative of the type of people.
Yeah, I don't know that it works like the way it used to. You kind of used to walk in there and I'll see you where you get.
I used to love to hang out at the Apple store. It just made me feel cooler.
Oh yeah, well, not no. It's like anything just cycles through. Now you look around. That's well, I'm trying to think of the last time I had that impression. Some of the stuff, like some of the things you think you enjoy doing, and then you look around and see some of the other people that apparently enjoy doing what you're doing, and you realize, Whew, I got to up my game, man. I am in the wrong. I apparently, just like I was watching some TV show last night, and it just dawns on you every now and then, like when the commercials come on, like, oh wow, that's the demographic of the show I'm watching. Now
Yeah.
it's one thing. It's one thing for, of course, it's always the old man problem you're always going to have. Whether you're trying to whether you're trying to shrink something or enlarge something or whatever, whatever the old man problems are. But last night, it was about a crematorium, and
Nice.
oh yeah, like it was like funeral insurance. I'm watching. I'm like, I even told my wife, I said, I must be watching the really old guys, but I actually was. You know what I watched last night? And my wife said I was having too much fun watching this. She says, she even said that. She said, don't you get on social media or anything tonight because you're just having too much fun. You're going to say something stupid. I found a station that was playing the Rockford Files.
Oh wow.
Okay. James Garner is Jim Rockford, the Rockford Files. And his co-star in this episode, and I don't remember if she was a regular or just his hookup for that particular show, was Lindsay Wagner.
Yeah.
Remember Lindsay?
The Bionic Woman?
Bionic Woman. Well, this was before she was the Bionic Woman.
Ah.
And I'm sitting there, and James Garner was a stud. You go back there, some people you look back, he's underrated because everybody goes back and you see, like, back in the day, I mean, Paul Newman was just always just a great looking guy. Kirk Douglas, these guys are always known for just, matinee guy looks. Jim Garner was a good looking dude from the jump. That guy just looked, he looked good early.
A lot of Westerns, didn't he?
He did. And then when he got the right, he's just he's one of those guys that, like, guys would say, oh, I wish that's how I'd want to be. Right. That's the guy I want to be. But man, it's so funny watching shows these made in the mid to late 70s because they're just comical, man. Even the stuff that's not supposed to be funny is funny. All right. And I'm watching there thinking, I'm even Googling this stuff to see, like, wait, hang on a sec here. How old was Jim Garner when he was doing the Rockford Files? And I think he started when he was 46. Okay. So it ran for maybe 10 years or so, give or take. So see, he's anywhere between, my wife and I were arguing about this. I bet he's in his late 30s right there. She goes, no, he's got to be in his 40s. So he was somewhere between 46 and say 53. Okay. So I'm like, how old Lindsay Wagner was back in the day. So she was like maybe mid 20s at that time. And it's just like, yeah, that's how TV used to work, man. It's just totally cool. Like that's the love interest, man. He's 20 something years older than her.
Yeah, why not, man? He was Jim Rockford.
You didn't even think about it. And just the stuff they're doing, just randomly scenes, like the bad guys could do stuff and say stuff that, like, they never let you get away with on TV today. Like the bad guy on the episode last night was like choking a woman. I mean, like threatening her and like physically choking and saying bad things. And I'm like, man, they would take that show off the air, right? Movies wouldn't even have that stuff.
Nah, well, we're all soft.
But
I saw this week, you may have saw that at a Guns N' Roses concert somewhere overseas.
Recently?
Yeah. Axl Rose typically, I guess, at the end, and I've never seen them live, at the end of the show tosses out a mic. Just throws his wireless mic in the crowd, which to me is cool. Wireless mics aren't cheap. Somebody got hit and kind of bruised or damaged, in the black eye or whatever, got hit in the eye socket. So now Axl is going to discontinue that tradition.
Oh man! Well, if
I'm sitting here saying, look, bro, if I'd gotten how cool would that have been to go to work on Monday and say, how'd you get that black eye? Axl Rose.
That's right.
Pop me with Mike.
Now, I guess the difference is there's a difference between dropping a mic and throwing a mic.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess.
I don't know what he did. I'm saying, I don't know. Dude's had problems forever. So you know what I'm saying? No, he really is. I mean, you caught lightning in a bottle, right? The guy, just that era. But you remember our buddy Stick, Kevin. He toured when he was before he became, big deal with lighting and everything, back when he was just like a roadie and, like a traveling roadie. When he traveled with Guns N' Roses. He did like 18 months. He did like Europe, Oh, whatever one of the big massive tours were, he was there, and he would tell stories. First time he met, well, various things. How, you meet them, you hang out long enough, they meet you. You know them. But he used to say that about Axel. He says that's not an act. He said that's not an act. He said that guy every show they weren't sure what's going to happen. Like, okay, is he here? Is he here? It was always one of those things. Like, is he in? Is he he's still in town? Right? Okay. Is he in the building? Is he? Because man, back Guns N' Roses used to show up an hour and a half, 2 hours late for stuff.
Wow.
And they said a lot of it was Axel trying to get his
stage able.
Trying to get the chemistry working right, and I don't know what else was going on, but yeah. So maybe that is a cool thing. Just that's a different kind of mic drop. There you go. Yeah. But now if you threw it all as mic and caught some idiot in the face, but what you gonna do, man? Oh, well,
and everybody's also looking to get paid. So
true. Before I jump off of this, the coolest scene in the Rockford Firehouse last night. He's apparently back at her place. Nice place. So she had money. She was young, but she had money. Fireplace going. I guess he's waiting for her to come out, whatever. Jim smoking a cigarette. All right. Smoking a cigarette, which I dare they do. When she comes around, what's he do with the cigarette? He just throws it in the fireplace. I'm like, man, that's the most white trash move in the history of white trash. But it somehow looked cool when Jim Rockford did it. You imagine? I don't know.
Maybe she probably didn't have an ashtray.
People do that back in the day. Did people literally throw cigarettes in a burning fireplace back in the day?
We didn't have a fireplace.
Neither, dude. South Louisiana. Neither did we. You know what? The only fireplace we had once a year, Mom and Dad would set up the little fake chimney for Christmas. It was like one of those cardboard red chimneys. Had a little light inside.
Uh-huh.
I think we might have hung our stockings on that thing. That was our. Yeah, man. So once a year for about a month, we had a cardboard fireplace in my house, man.
Dude, we had a fireplace. I had a couple houses with fireplaces. My last one was the living room opened up to the upstairs. Mm-hmm. So if you turn on the fireplace, it was a gas fireplace. It would basically wouldn't do anything downstairs. But upstairs, it would get to be about 1,000 degrees.
Oh, yeah. I went to South Lafourche. They taught us those things. Heat rises.
There. So when I did have a wood burning fireplace, so that was kind of fun because it was pretty much just like making a campfire in your backyard where it's, not doing this for heat. I'm doing this just to make the fire.
Yeah, but that's real fire, real fireplaces. That's a different level of commitment, different level of
clean that thing,
different level of danger too. With what happens there. But I realized a while ago, I said I went to South Lafourche. See, back when you don't even have to say high school, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the only time we were from. Man, bro, I went to South Lafourche. So really? All right. Yeah, no, we have a fireplace in the house I'm in now. We've been in this house for 20 years. Never lit the thing. It's got a gas. Never. No interest in it. No. Now I kind of regret that. Last year in Texas when they had the rolling blackout nonsense, we went with they shut our power down for 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
when it was like 12 degrees. It was but I wasn't about to light the fireplace because I never, saying we didn't light it. We hadn't in 20 something years. I never had the thing even inspected. All right. So what's the only thing worse than being dark when it's cold outside? How about blowing your house up? That'd be right. If you're looking at, you think your day is going bad now, blow that baby up. But one of these days, maybe. We had a real fireplace in Georgia, the house I bought when we lived there, and because the house was built in 1965. And that's what I always liked about that house. The house was built the year I was born. So I always kind of felt connected. Really good. It was, it was built well, like me, built well, classic features. But it had a real wood. And those things were legit, man. But, and you're a South Louisiana guy, right? I was so excited when we got that house. Like, oh man, I got a real fireplace. I couldn't wait to light that first fire. And you realize, oh, you got to learn how to use these things. It's not, is there a vent you got to open? Is there,
Yeah, and you don't open that thing, bro.
And then everybody warns you. You got to be careful because apparently over time, if you burn these logs, because those Duraflame logs were the easiest thing, but
Right.
apparently they leave residue.
Mm-hmm.
And they say over time, you don't know who was in the house or how long it had been, but you could get, you don't want a fire. You don't want the
Right.
inner walls of your chimney, catching fire. So that was always, that could have just been a wives' tale they told me. I don't know. It could have
No,
been
I
like
think so. And then even when you close it, because they can air pockets can build up in there. So when you open it, like for the first time the year, you've got to seem like I had to take like light newspaper and kind of stick it in there just to get the heat in there initially to kind of burn that air out. Otherwise, it was like the same thing. Is it a flute, whatever?
Floop.
If it's the same thing, like it was closed, you'd light the fire and all the smoke would come in your house.
Couple of South Louisiana guys talking fireplaces. We don't know. That was all decorations. I probably lit about maybe, I don't know, say I was in that house 5 years. I probably lit the thing about 10 times. Right.
Yeah.
And it's always one of those things. It seems like it's, oh man, that'd be awesome. You get your, and they don't give that much heat, frankly. I mean, that's
No.
fireplaces. Fireplaces are overrated because
Right. If you're sitting there,
you got to get right up on it.
Yeah.
Now, right up on it. Now, a gas, but the thing about gas, at least, okay, whatever the heat is the heat. That's going to stay the same way. Freaking real wood fire. My man, look, you go from hot to can't feel it to, some embers, right?
yeah.
But,
And then what do you do when you're too hot?
I don't know what you do, man. I don't know. So,
well, you talking about Rockford in the 70s. We talked a couple of weeks ago when you found your beautiful leisure suit picture.
yeah,
About some of the shirts that went with leisure suits, and the sofa style patterns and everything,
right.
and the
battle scenes,
the silky shirts.
Yeah.
So again, at the mall, I hadn't been in a long time. Well, apparently, those type of things are coming back.
Oh man. Oh dude. I don't even have to ask you what store you in.
No,
I mean,
man,
well, maybe I do. I don't know. Dealers are selling that crap.
Yes.
I shouldn't say that crap. That
That stuff, that new fashion.
if
They
you buy
also
that
have
shirt,
like what I call velveteen jackets.
oh geez.
In every color you can imagine.
I can't look at that shirt or hear that design and think if you wear that, you're probably walking around saying, better have my money. You better have my money. I'm not going to say the whole phrase, but you better have my money. That's an interesting design there, man. Maybe they're just out. Maybe they're just out of design.
I don't know.
There's like movies. They ain't, you know what I'm saying? All the movies are garbage. There's no new ideas out there. Maybe they're the same thing with clothes.
Well, and some of them are like, like the silky fabric, like they were back in the 70s, man.
I didn't see it yet, but my wife tells me she was in Louisiana a few weeks ago, and I think my son bought some corduroy pants.
Yeah.
What? I was like, what?
It's
Corduroy.
all coming back. I still have them all. I just can't fit them.
I could never remember. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure I owned corduroy pants back in the day, and I don't think they look good when I wore them. I mean, like, sure, my mom or something, I'm saying that was probably the style, and you wore corduroy, and I always remember like, I don't get this. This is not. Of course, you also learn that too. I mean, everything looks good on the Sears models, the Sears catalogs and the, it ain't how that's not how it worked when it came home to you, bro.
No.
you took that out of the package. It's also amazing too now that how some people just ordering online and sending stuff back has become so relatively seamless. Where back in the day, man, if you got something in the mail, that was it. It was forever. You weren't you ain't sending nothing back. It's like, all right, you messed up. They messed up. Complain.
Yeah, now with like Amazon, you don't even need to package it up. Bring it to the UPS store, they send you a barcode and you give it to them and they package it up and send it.
And I was in the Walmart the other day, and we need some light bulbs for in our kitchen, the 100-watt, the big bulbs. And all right, which is a lie, by the way. I'm so tired of it. Well, and I'll call them all out, whether it's GE, whether it's Walmart's brand, whether it's whatever, all these light bulbs that tell you 10 years guaranteed for first of all, who keeps a receipt? Who does that? Like, it's impossible. And I know I've gone through some of these bulbs in under a year. These 9 and 10 year bulbs, they burn out in under a year. So I go and I get, they're like $10 a box, which is,
Man.
for like 4 bulbs. I'm like, man, seems kind of well, whatever. And I get home, other things, and I get home and I open it, and man, 2 of the bulbs, they're not broken the outside, but the inside is rattling. You can tell that.
Yeah, that's how you
And,
tell it doesn't work.
and then I got the dread. God, man, do I want to go? I'm playing that game in my head. Do I want to go back to Walmart and go get what's the worst line at Walmart?
The
What is
return line.
Oh man, I mean, listen, it's a close race when you're standing like 12 deep in the self-checkout line, right? Because that happens too. Like the Walmart near my house, there must be 8 to 10, I guess, or so self-checkout, whatever. But those are all full, and you get like a 10, 10 deep line. Oh, that's as bad. And that's either that line or the return line, depending on who you got working the return line. Because that's some nice, pleasant personalities working the Walmart return. So, well, sometimes they are, but you catch them later on in the day, they're not happy. They're not.
They got that backlog of stuff. I went to, again, another place I don't go to often. I went to Target yesterday, and in the self checkout line, there was a young girl in the front of me, or at one of the things, a couple other people in the front of me, and she was paying, and I guess it was probably $100 or whatever. But when I tell you, she must have paid in five. She paid in cash in fives and tens, and pulled one bill at a time out her wallet. Would feed the bill, then go back, thumb through the wallet, get the next one, and feed it. And I'm like sitting there saying, "Is this not aggravating anybody besides me? Yeah, just get all the money out. You know how much it is."
Well, she wanted to make sure, man. Let me see.
Well,
that one took.
Still owes, let's see, $70 balance. Here's a 10. What's the balance? Oh, 60. What about
you think maybe she was?
$5?
You think maybe she was playing that game of I got to put stuff back? I mean, I don't even try to judge.
No, because it was all scanned. Well, I don't know. I guess you're trying to, but no, if you want to see how much you got, you take it all out.
You would think, yeah. Like, I mean, you either know what you got, and look, when I say this, it is no way, shape, or form saying, look, man, I get it. It's ridiculous what stuff costs now, but we're going back a ways. I was never gonna get my head around the folks that show up, and that's when they're like, that was the loading the basket was the first round of shopping. Actually being at the cashier is apparently
figuring out on the belt, which I can take. Oh, go ahead. Where was that? Oh, we bagged it. Go get that.
Oh, scan that. Okay. Yeah. Put that with like, and I get it. Look, man, I'm just saying it, but at some point, like, we need a better system, or we just need, I say we, like I'm running the place. You ought to have a lane that's just self-identified. Are you a problem shopper? Are you a problem customer? Like we've been looking at the security cameras in this place, and it seems to us that 80% of the time you shop this store, it takes forever to check you out. So we got a special lane for y'all over here. Hey,
right. You put your best cashier there and pay them a little more.
Pay them a little more. Look, you're going to deal with the yawns and the crooks and the, I shouldn't say crooks, but a little of that goes on. But I could never work the return area because I'm too judgmental, right? I guess they're just programmed. You just take it. And I'd be like, no, man, you wore that. You bought this, 3 days ago? and it's not, you wore that. You literally just bought this, wore it, and now you're returning it. Nah, I ain't taking it back. Nah, I'm not gonna do it. All right, you're just, I've seen stuff. I think my wife told me somebody like brought back a birthday cake. with some missing. It wasn't good. But dang, you ate a third of it.
Somebody bought, and I think maybe somebody at Joey knows, bought a microwave one time from Walmart, and it had like old nasty food in it. Like somebody had used it and returned it and not cleaned it.
Listen. I'm trying to think of what some of the stuff I bought in the past where, you open it up and realize, man, the generator I got outside right now. I got, and I've had it for maybe a year, 2 years. Propane. It's one of these dual fuel, whatever. And when I took it out the box, when I took that thing out the box, it had a dent, and I granted, thankfully, it was a dent on something that didn't need. Well, and I say that it could have been maybe in shipping, but and I know the other thing. One of the it comes like almost like a semi kind of wooden crate, to protect it, and half of it was gone. So I was like, man,
yeah, they couldn't get it all back in. Then
somebody bought this thing, probably ran it, but it works. So it's again, you go back to it's different levels. What's your level there? Because it's heavy to bring it back, or what's my level on the $10 light bulbs that are still sitting on my counter downstairs? And I'm like, okay, if I don't bring them back, I got 2 working light bulbs for $10. So that's a $5.
See, somebody probably needed to change 2 light bulbs at their house.
Yeah, when I get done with this, I think I'm about done outside. I was blowing leaves in my backyard. I call it the backyard. It's all paved. It's kind of a basketball court kind of deal. But we got a big old pecan tree. Whoo! 'Tis the season, man. Tis the season.
Well, it's winter here, so that means fall.
That's right. We don't get fall colors. We get brown, and they all in the gutters. I was on a ladder a little while ago with my cordless blower, just blowing leaves, thinking it's probably not the safest thing for me to be.
No, man, and not dragging a piece of equipment that's attached to a cord.
No, cordless, bro.
Oh, cordless.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, this is one of my
battery powered.
One of them batteries. I got a battery powered one. They're not as good as the one that's they work, but it's not like what the yard crews use. Those yard crews, they strap the tanks on the back of them.
Yeah, I'd like to use that one time.
They look fun. I bet they're not.
No, they're not.
There's a lot of stuff that looks fun when you're not being paid to do it. Yeah. Right.
I used to volunteer this when I worked from home. I'd go to my church once a week and vacuum. And they had one of those, like the vacuums that hook up to your back. And, it looks cool. And about 3 minutes into lugging that thing around.
That reminds me of the episode of Gilligan's Island when they found the jetpack.
The jetpack.
Remember that? And Gilligan put on the jetpack because they had to do a little test. And then the professor knew that, there's only so much fuel here.
You're right.
So I think they might have even built a dummy to test who could do it. And apparently Gilligan was the only one small enough. Although I'm saying that, I think that's pretty sexist because I'm sure Ginger or Marianne.
Marianne could have done it.
Didn't weigh more than Gilligan, but Gilligan is, all right, he puts on the thing and I guess he's supposed to get up there to be seen.
Forgot to strap it on.
No, then he got scared and he went into a cloud bank. I mean, I'm almost positive that was the episode. I'm almost positive that's what happened. Gilligan went into some clouds to hide and they were like, why? So he didn't get seen because of, man, I'm almost positive that's
I don't know. I thought he pressed the button and forgot to strap it on, and
that's another it could have possibly happened.
Could have been an alternative ending.
I think to this day you look back at that show like, how'd you even you got the smartest man apparently on the planet, on the island with you. He can make radios out of coconut shells, but he can't fix a boat. He just can't.
I still wonder how they all fit on that boat. That boat wasn't that big.
No, I know. And what are the millionaires doing? It was a 3-hour cruise, man. What are Lovey and Thurston doing with boxes of clothes on a 3-hour? And why would they ever be on that? Maybe I don't know. Look, I'm sure this is information that has been well vetted over the years. I'm sure people have talked about this stuff, but again, we just went with it. Just like last night, I'm watching the Rockford Files. They're doing car chases and they're talking. He's got the windows down. Like they're driving through deserts in it wasn't a Trans Am. It might've been a Firebird, Camaro, whatever it is. And he and Lindsay Wagner are having a conversation and they're not yelling. They're just talking. I'm like, that ain't happening. You are not doing 65, 70 through sand and stuff blowing around and having a calm conversation. You're going to be screaming your head out hair flip, man. I noticed these things. And he shot a plane out the sky with a pistol.
Oh man.
They kept coming at him and they got a machine gun. The guy shooting. Apparently the guy in the machine gun can't hit a car, but Rockford somehow with his pistol, Hit,
He's got a 6-shooter, makes
He
everyone
hit-
count.
he hit the tank of the plane and forced it to land. And then as soon as they landed, they went running and it blew up right behind him. That's the other thing I realized. Back in the day, stuff blew up pretty easy.
But the timing was always, bam, just missed you.
Man, every real action show had to have that scene. Run away from the explosion. There you go. And then one guy, they shot the episode. So he shot this guy that was running away, not Rockford, but the bad guys try to kidnap this guy. And the guy's running away, and he's shooting him, and he shoots him. And I swear to you, like boom, and the guy is running. He jumps when he gets shot. He jumps, and it lands on the ground. I'm like, is that how that works?
Well, never been shot. Couldn't tell.
I've never been shot, so I don't know. But then they take off, and Rockford takes off after the bad guys, and I'm thinking, y'all just left a guy shot right there on the ground. Nobody even checked on him.
He's got priorities, man.
And it wasn't like it was in public. It was like, wait a minute. Yeah, he was gonna get his man. Yeah,
right. Yeah, they would shoot a lot of people. There wasn't a lot of blood in those shows. They shot a lot of people, though.
No, but you could choke a woman on him, and they wouldn't even tell. It's weird, man. You look at that saying, I don't think they'd let you do that on TV there. But some things they do let you do. I mentioned this to you. And again, I don't know. I guess it's double standard. I'm sure. I guess it's double standard.
Well, I don't know. I've been watching Yellowstone lately, and granted, that's
like
not
that
on
show.
network TV. Yeah, they got some women getting choked in there.
Yeah, everybody's talking about that fight the other day. Did you see the last episode when
No, because I don't have Paramount Plus, so during Thanksgiving weekend they ran every season consecutively on Paramount.
Right.
So I recorded that, but now the new season is on Paramount.
Yeah,
so
I got something
to catch
into it.
up.
It's good. It's one of those things I kind of didn't want to, but I did. Now I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of. It's because it's good. It's really good. But
Well, I didn't realize. First of all, I don't think I realized it was set in like modern times.
Modern time. Yeah.
And then I didn't realize how violent it was.
It's violent. But it's also. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But no, I'll say it's one of those shows that you sit down and it's like, yeah, shoot him, kill him.
Yeah, but then it was sort of my thing back with the Sopranos too. Now, Sopranos may well be, people say maybe the best TV series ever. I mean, Sopranos was fun. It was amazing. And maybe that's how it works, man. They got a lot of people get killed, nobody gets caught. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I don't really. Y'all can just do that. Like people just. It's the life we chose, and and the same thing with Yellowstone. Like, hang on.
Well, somebody who, our friend that we talk about on Facebook sometimes posted, I'm not going to give him credit for it because I'm guessing he stole it from somebody else. But posted the other day that Yellowstone is the Sopranos with cowboy hats. Yeah.
Well, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So it's endorsed there. It's amazing. Reading, I think it was a while back, about the foods we eat, and like in America, and when any country, when obesity ends up being one of your major, if not your major, health, and people are talking about, well, other parts of the world don't eat. It's not even so much how much we eat; it's what's in the stuff we eat. We talked about that, like with
bread,
refrigerator,
like processed.
Yeah,
food,
right. Exactly. The food that just goes.
It's not just the processing; it's the preservatives.
So I'm on a plane coming back from Kansas City this past week, and they it's a morning flight, and I'm not sitting up front, so they're not feeding us breakfast. It's just they're doing the they do the cart, and then they offer you the cookie, right? And it's not the Biscoff, right? This one's, it's called a stroop waffle. It's the authentic Dutch. Let me hold that up there. Hang on. The authentic Dutch cookie, whatever. All right, whatever. A little bitty thing. All right, all right. Well, the authentic Dutch stroop waffle, and I'm like, what's in this thing? Let me handed these things, right? They're handing these things out like medicine, right? Here you go, everybody sitting on the plane. The ingredients on this, because the other thing I noticed is that 100 and something calories. Okay, like, and for not a very big thing. First ingredient is glucose syrup. That's the first ingredient. Glucose syrup. Wheat flour. All right, we can go with that. Then sugar, palm oil, butter, molasses, soy flour, canola oil, salt, wheat dextrin, soy lecithin.
How is that only 100 calories?
Listen, baking soda, cinnamon, citric acid, vanilla bean, mono and diglycerides of fatty acids. The heck? What do you mean, how is it only? I don't know, because it wasn't big. Like, it'd be great, like, if you were stuck in the wilderness where dying of lack of calories is an issue, you'd want a backpack full of these things. Because, man, that's like, you can knock down some calories, right? Here, handing it out on the plane. There you go.
It's like, because I work in a wholesale distributor for convenience stores. So I see some of the stuff and it makes me think about it, like the little white powdered donuts. I love those things.
Oh, man.
But if you think it's that little piece of cellophane that's keeping that sucker fresh on the shelf for 2 weeks.
You mean they got something else in there?
Yeah. I mean, then they freeze it, which is also kind of gross to me. We'll have them forever, and then we send them out.
It's better not to know what's in the food you eat sometimes if you just want to enjoy it. And oh, by the way, everybody out there, and I know, man, I loved them back in the day, and they used to be most of my breakfast, and shows you how healthy I was back in the day heading into the radio station. But y'all can stop posting the Hubig pie stuff, okay? let's pump the brakes on the excitement on, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh, like, ooh, I scored me some Hubig. All right.
Yeah, I think Hubig pies is like, artists that, they become a lot better when they die. And Hubig pies went away for a couple of years, and so now everybody's
Oh, good. Don't get me wrong, man. I love me, slightly Mike. I even like the lemons. In fact, I really like the lemons. There are people talking about which ones I don't know which ones with. I don't think there was any I didn't like. Oh, pineapple. They still make the pineapple ones?
I don't know. I'm not a Hubig pie guy.
I don't think I much cared for those, but
well, here's what will tell you the difference between me and the Hubig pie people. When my sons were in Rhode Island a couple of weeks ago, my younger son sent me a picture. He was at the store and saw a bag of taco Doritos on the shelves over there.
Did he score you some?
No.
Yeah, that's you, right? That's stuff you like. Taco.
Yeah,
Doritos.
I lived on that in college, man.
I was trying to think of what I lived on in college. We were talking about the other day about eating, because you really couldn't afford fast food, right? Back in the day, you couldn't eat out. Like, you couldn't eat fast food, and it was not that it'd be good. It wasn't good for you, but I'm trying to think. My roommate for a couple of years, he took up cooking. He wasn't very good, but he worked at it, and when you're hungry, you'll eat, man. Recipe. He got good toward the end. Is when he decided that he's going to start cooking, right? And we went through some rookie gumbos and some rookie, right?
Dude,
like all the ingredients are there, but it's not quite.
My mom had a seal meal.
Oh, dude, that was ahead of the time, man. Seal meals were good.
And she would put some leftovers in there for me, and then you just boil it, so it's like home cooking boiled in a bag.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it, man. Stuff your mom cook, you bring with you, but. Yeah, like I said, we got pretty good toward the end. I think about that now. We used to, for college guys, we had a rice cooker. We had,
I had a rice cooker.
Oh yeah, saying we were actually, you did it, and that was a conversation I had during the week with a friend that talked. We were talking about food and what we eat and what we grew up eating, compared to what we just go to now. And it's true, even though you'd say like, rice is starches, and pasta is what it is. But a wiener spaghetti or red beans and rice and whatever you put on the side of it is healthier than most of the stuff.
Yeah.
We're doing now, but
we checked out. You're talking about what we used to eat and stuff. So we were in this. I don't know if y'all have them. It's called Shake Shack.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
And there's a new one here. So since I wouldn't eat at the food court at the mall, we went check that out. It's on the outskirts of the mall. So we drove over there. And it's a burger place. Yeah, good stuff. But they've got hot dogs. I'm checking out the hot dogs, and the hot dogs are made with 100% Vienna beef.
Yeah.
I want to ask this guy. So is that like a Vienna sausage?
Vienna beef. Oh, is that
Vienna
right?
sausage, I don't think it's all beef. So it could
No,
be
it's
all
all
different parts.
it's all delicious, is what it is. It's all. I sent a case of Vienna sausage to Louisiana the other. My wife was going there. She's like, "What's this for?" I said, "For my mama." My mama, like, that's every now and then you want a treat. Every now and then it's like I'm hungry, but I'm not really hungry. Oh, can of Vienna sausage. That would hit.
So,
That
well,
would.
one of my sons bought my dad a Spam Christmas tree ornament that he found somewhere.
I'm not even making this up. I don't know that I've eaten Spam in my life.
I don't think I
I
have.
probably have. And you know what's funny? I think I did in Hawaii because they do some Spam in Hawaii now. That's their jam, man. They like Spam in Hawaii. But so I think I might have tried something. It was never a big deal. We were a potted meat Vienna sausage kind of family, bro. Evangeline bread. Evangeline
Yeah,
bread.
we did. Yeah. So no Spam here, man.
Back in the days. We were talking earlier, or I think before we came on about, we're coming up in the Christmas season, and my wife's on that. She's buying all the presents. I gotta, me. I'm the typical. So it was the 25th. So I guess around the 22nd, y'all stay out my way because I got to do some shopping. But she's buying stuff. But you were talking about some of the
I was
things.
looking and pull up my phone. I don't know. I was killing time at work yesterday.
Beats working.
Yeah. Started talking about some of the things that we had as kids, or toys that were popular, like back when that you'd see when that Sears catalog rolled out back in September. Man, that was like the highlight of the season when you got your Christmas wish book from Sears. So I think everybody had the Rock'em Sock'em robots.
We did at one time.
The Evel Knievel toys.
Those were great.
They're actually Evel Knievel action figures that not just came with the motorcycle. I found this online that you had like a spy Evel Knievel.
Spy Evel was the man. Again, youngins have no idea how huge Evel Knievel was for that brief amount of time.
Dude, I think I want one.
Rock'em Sock'em though, those were maybe always the most overrated toys,
dude.
Rock'em Sock'em
knocked his
good.
block off.
And now what? It was the most, right? It's literally one of those games that, man, I don't think you got 2 minutes out of actual. Oh, I hit you. Oh wait, I want the red robot. That blue robot's chin. So
his head's looser.
Rock'em Sock'em created far more actual fights than the pretend fights you were having. But there you go.
Light Bright. I think everybody had that.
Again, overrated.
What about this? Woolly Willy.
Woolly Willy.
Woolly Willy was like a guy's face, and you had a little magnet pen.
Oh, that wasn't like a Christmas toy, was it? I mean,
yeah, dude. Yeah.
No, that was like a TGNY toy. That was man,
that was for us that weren't rich enough to afford the Etch-a-Sketch.
Again, overrated. Like you look back at some of these toys, overrated. Etch-a-Sketch. Oh, I hated Etch-a-Sketch, man.
Yeah, you kids that do all your stuff on a computer and whatever.
I remember Woolly.
We wasn't making no TikTok videos out of Etch-a-Sketch.
No.
We had something. My sister had. It was called Creepy Crawlers, and it was like a little oven. She also had the Easy Bake Oven.
Now, that was not overrated. Easy Bake.
No, dude, you can make some little chocolate pies with that. Yeah.
Damn, Skippy. Yeah, you could with a light bulb. With a light bulb, you were cooking with a light bulb. I got all this LED crap all over my office, man. None of this stuff's generating heat. Back in our days, kids, you could light bulb.
You could burn that thing. You could leave that light on for an hour.
One light bulb could cook a cake. That's right. Oh yeah, I can touch every light in this thing. Not back in the day, man.
No, man, you could make a chocolate cake in 2-3 hours.
But you take for granted the things we did back in that where you'd actually use the heat of that light, like with plants. You cover a plant, whatever, you put a light. Well, when I was in 4-H, the Chicken of Tomorrow contest, when you had baby chicks and you had them in the fall, you'd hang a light bulb. You'd hang a light bulb and it generate heat, and the baby chicks would hang around that. Of course, looking back now, those birds must have been screwed up because chickens typically wake up in the daytime in the light, and if the only way that you can keep them warm is a freaking 100-watt bulb,
it's a better alternative
than freezing. That's right.
I'm tired, but I'm alive.
I'm close my eyes. All right.
No, my church had this thing. It's called creepy crawlers, and it had like this little heating element. Again, you could burn yourself at 6 years old. And it came with these little molds that came up like looked like little insects or animals.
Yes.
And you'd pour this liquid stuff in it and heat it, and it would turn to some type of seemingly plastic or you know, but you could eat it.
Ugh. Well, technically, you could eat a lot of stuff that you're probably not supposed
to. No preservatives in there, man.
You could eat the light brights too, but I wouldn't recommend it. You know, and I'd be some interesting movements after. You'd be like, oh man, I made a sparkly.
They might still have these. My brother had the see and say, where you pointed it like at an animal, and then you pull the string, and it goes. The cow says, "Boo."
Yeah, those were man. Those were good. Those could still entertain children today. Of course, I doubt seriously anybody's still buying their kids wood burning kits.
No, I had a wood burning kit.
Well, I did as well, man. You are basically handing your child something that can literally burn your house down. I mean, this thing is or really brand them like.
But it had that little safety piece of wire that would hold it up if so you don't set it down on the table.
Or now again, I'm sure they still exist. I would hope they're more what's the word?
That's probably got some safety aspects on it.
Yeah, more
auto shut off and.
Well, think about the chemistry kits, dude. I had a chemistry. Smoke. I had a chemistry kit one time that I mean, and who's reading the manual? Who's reading the danger. Don't mix this with this.
Yeah, I'm put a little of this, little of that.
Hang on a sec. You are literally giving a kid something that they need.
They're supposed to, because it all came in the little white jars, looked like a little Tylenol bottle. No safety lid on it though. Oh no! I remember I had like a little spoon with it, and if you didn't clean the spoon properly, whatever chemical was on it would basically eat the spoon.
There you go, kids. There you go. You ever have a rock polisher?
Yes.
Now think about the rock polishers. They were overrated up until the time you took that stuff out. Polished rocks are cool. Like right now, I wish I could find some. Those were fun. You had to put them in that kit, and they had that rubber I said rubber band. It was a big band, and I was like for days, right? It would just you have to put the chemicals or whatever the polishing stuff was in there, and just forget about it. And you'd run it for a day or two and change it. Man, polished rocks, man. That was
right. We had machinery, kids.
That's right. Y'all talking about the metaverse and this and that, and your latest whatever. Yeah. Speaking of, right before we came back on, I'm texting with my son who is running late again because he can't find his watch. He's got an Apple Watch. And, my thing is, okay, if there was ever a watch designed to be able to find it, it's that one, but not if you let it die.
Yeah.
And not if you, right. I don't know. And that's a generational thing too, right? I think people that grew up with not a lot, know how to look for things better than maybe younger generations or people that grew up.
You don't want,
you ain't getting replaced. You lost it. It was it. It's gone. They ain't getting another one. We're not going to the TGNY to buy you whatever. You lost it. That's you. Sorry, babe. You should have paid more attention.
Kept a better eye on it.
Because I do that right now. Even, can't find whatever. So I bet you I can find it in 30 seconds. That's all through high school, even through college. I mean, that's my thing. I said, I bet you I can find it in 30 seconds. You tell me the last place you had it and I'll find it. and but I could
Yeah,
have
it
been
was funny. So my son that's staying here now, when he moved back from college, like I don't know, a week later, he said, I can't find my bathroom stuff. I must have left it over there. I said, like what? And it's like, oh, just like my toiletries, my brush, and I was cleaning up. That was in the summer. So I was cleaning out my garage the other day. I was just moving some stuff around, and I found just an open box with his stuff in it, and there, right on top of the box. Like, you looked really hard for that stuff.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, that's my thing. It's like, I don't know if it's just something that's been lost generation to generation, but that's always been my like, well, let's just figure this out. What could it possibly be? Why are you looking on top of the closet? Do you think whatever? Have you been on the top of that closet in months? Then why would you think? You think one of us found something and just stuck it up there?
Just put it up there.
And here's a hint too. 9 times out of 10, it's in some clothes you just took off and threw in the corner, right? Or it's on the side of your bed. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
in your pocket.
That's 75% of the stuff that turns up missing. But whatever. I mean, I could have been a detective like Rockford back in the day, bro.
Look, man, that Rick Springfield album I broke out last week. I hadn't seen that thing in 20 years. I knew exactly where it was.
Exactly where it was, because it probably hadn't been moved since. There's nothing worse than that, because I know that I'll have things around the house or in the garage that I know if you were doing this right, if you were like, if somebody was a professional or knew what they were doing, and let's organize things. I don't have this stuff where it's probably supposed to be, but it's where I know it is.
Yeah.
And the only way, or the biggest way I end up getting stuff lost is when, and sometimes it's me. It doesn't have to be somebody else to move it. I'll do it myself. I'll say, I know I've had this thing hanging on a nail in the garage for the past 5 years, but that's a dumb place to have this. Let me put it where it really makes more sense. And then I can never find it again. It's like, wait, same thing. It's my junk drawer, but you know what? There's no organization in the junk drawer. But here's what I know. If I think it's in the junk drawer and I can't find it, it's in the other junk drawer. Right? That's a junk drawer item. Don't put it in a toolbox. It's a tool. Yeah, but it's not. It's a tool that I use all the time. It's It's my, and I'm that guy. I got
the little bitty screwdriver that, you use for your glasses or your sunglasses. That don't go in the toolbox.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm like that. I've got a storage unit that I seldom go to, but I can tell you, it's like, okay, yeah, well, this saw is in the crawfish pot in the back right corner of the storage unit type stuff.
And yeah, it's sorted in your own mind.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, I thought about this last night when I was, doing the watching the Rockford Files and enjoying myself way too much. Growing up, I guess I thought being a private detective was a much bigger industry than it actually is. Because you think back over time, how many TV shows, you know what I'm saying?
Mannix, Cannon, Kojak.
Ironside. Yeah, but Kojak was TV. Those were TV detectives. So that's, but I'm talking about just private eyes. Like Magnum, Rockford. Who else was the private? It just seemed like the brothers, Gerald McCraney and the other guy.
Yeah. I forgot the name of that show.
Oh man, what was it? Now I'm stuck. The blonde guy and Gerald McCraney, and they were brothers. Yeah. You're gonna hit that. See what that was?
I'm gonna type it.
They got some people at home screaming right now. Hey, you idiots! It was I don't remember watching it very often, but I know they were on for a while. Again, back when we thought being a private
Simon and Simon.
There you go. Back in the day when you thought there's a lot of detectives. I don't know how anybody got away with anything back in the day. There were so many dang private eyes.
It'd be a cool gig if you think about
it. Moonlighting.
Yeah.
Now that's the one that always threw me.
That's where Bruce Willis got his big break, I think.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. That's when it became a little bit of a sort of what brought it down in the end, because it became too big. Sybil Shepherd was supposed to be the star. She was great. She was beautiful. I mean, and talented. Sybil Shepherd was a legit star. And she was supposed to be the star of Moonlighting. Well, it didn't take but about a half season for, Bruce Willis.
Had that, when shows start doing like musical versions.
Oh yeah, yeah, because they didn't think it was going to get picked up. They sure didn't think it was going to make 2 or 3 seasons, and then you just run out. It's like, all right, we ain't got nothing. What else? What else can we do? And then they jumped the shark when they let them hook up, right? It was always the tension between the two of them. Once they hooked up, that's it, over. Good night. It's been nice. But talking about on the way out, last thing before we jump, about because it's Sybil Shepherd, because it reminded me of this. Something I thought of last night. I never watched local news. Sorry, Rick Portier, our buddy. I'm not in Baton Rouge. I would watch WBRZ. That's his station, right?
Phenomenal story done by Rick.
Exactly. I would watch that all the time if I was in the Baton Rouge market, but I'm not. So I don't watch any typically of the Houston stuff because it's depressing. It's like, But I'm scanning last night, just sitting there in the living room with my wife, and you just happened to hit like the weather. And it made me realize, it just brought back to memory that there's a definite double standard there, man, because you can be the frumpiest, right? You could be the frumpiest, old, disheveled
belly
looking
hanging out.
Dude, Al Roker could be a famous weatherman, right? I mean, a weatherman doesn't matter. If you want to be a weather girl, weather lady, weather person, whatever, man, they go through a modeling, right? It's that's nothing more obvious than that. And
yes, and their clothes typically complement
the young lady that was the weather person last night, standing in front of that map where they make it like you're standing on the actual there. There's no doubt she was going straight out after that. It was like a Friday night. I mean, there's no doubt.
Late, man. She didn't have time to change.
Ooh, no doubt. She was, I mean, dressed to the nines. Could have been a holiday party coming up. I should say that, but dressed. There's one of those things you're scanning and you go like, why is that runway model standing on a weather map? Oh, because that's the world we live in. That's
we had my company Christmas party last night, and there were some people there who were, either going out or going to work a little later or something.
Could be both, bro.
Yeah, could be both. There was some of them sitting there saying, man, how'd you fix that much body in that little material?
Well, they laid off the powdered donuts this week, dude.
Hey.
And Stroop waffle cookies. Dude. I just keep going back to that. Anytime you are putting something in your mouth that the first ingredient is glucose syrup. They need to keep those around for when people go like the diabetic shock or something, or crash, like hypoglycemia.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's what it ought to put there on the side. Hey, this could also be used for medicine if you have somebody going into a hypoglycemic shock.
You don't have any insulin.
Give them a little bit of this.
Baby. I got it.
Give them a little bit of this. All right. Let's push the button. Get on out of here, guys. There it is. The buffet with the glucose syrup.
All served up there.
It's out in front of you, man. Pick and choose what you want. It all costs the same. It's free. Again, you're welcome. You're welcome. If you want to reach us, it's Dave.
Much like that waffle, this will last forever.
That's right. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. If you want to reach us, it's Dave and Juan at protonmail.com, and you can just hit us all these other places. All right.
Yep. You find us on social media. I missed that cue.
You don't even miss him. Took a big part of your job away, Juan.
Social media.
It used to be, we used to close, man. You used to give a long list of everywhere to find us.
Yeah, we're everywhere. Google us.
Google it. There it is. There it is. And you're welcome. But hey, until then, everybody, remember, every week, it ain't a suggestion. It's not a hint. We're not subtly implying it. None of that stuff. Freaking.
It's a mandate.
It's a freaking mandate.
Got to do it. Get out
there.
Do it.
Attempt to live the best week of your life. It starts with the best hour of your life. It goes to the next day. Just try. You may get there. You may not get there. It's all right. Give it your best shot.
We've done our part.
Give it.
Yeah. We've planted another tree.
Give it. Exactly. Seeds are planted. Water them. There you go. Water your best day seeds going forward. All right. Until then, we're gonna check on out of here. We got one or two more of these to do before the year's out. So we'll see.
We'll be back.
We got 100 episode. The 100th episode's coming up pretty soon. So we're gonna have to like wear tuxes or something. We'll do.
We can work with that.
We'll work on that, or not. Or I'm gonna come back from cleaning my gutters and say, tis what it is. All right. Until that, everybody have a fantastic one. Love you, bro.
Back at you, dude. Popeyes in Michigan somewhere. They closed it down because somebody saw roaches in it. And I'm sitting there saying, what the hell? I'd be surprised if
I
there
was to
wasn't.
say. Roaches aren't dumb.
Nah,
Roaches know. Roaches
like,
gonna go.
look, how
That's a
long did
happy
it stay on the
roach.
biscuit? Yeah, that's not long
Exactly.
enough.
Exactly. And if that roach was born and raised here, it's been eating Popeyes the whole time anyway.
Right.
Right. That's
Just
enough.
blow it off.
Man, that's some happy roaches, man. Right? I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long a roach lives, but you know, you got a pretty good life if you just live your life inside of Popeyes.
You could be living forever.
Love that chicken. From
Imagine the good crumbs that fall off over there.